Hello and welcome back to my channel. So I am Claire of Grief Conversations with Claire. I'm a grief coach, grief educator and speaker, and I am a bereaved sibling, granddaughter and doggy mum to my lovely Maggie, and other relationships that do not have those titles to go with them but are just as impactful because of the relationships I had with them. So this is continuing in this series that I've started talking about types of grief. So today we are going to be talking about inconclusive grief. Please do not compare your grief to anyone else's. It's not a competition. Our own worst grief is our own worst grief. This is also not about labeling. It's to give you some language so then you can understand what's going on for you and maybe be able to have better conversations around it because you've got words that sound true to you and your experience. I'm in the kitchen today, so it's always able to tell whether I'm going to be baking or not because the hair's tied up. It makes me think of my yoga lady. We always know when she's going to do headstands or something because she starts tucking her shirt in and other things. So today I've got you with me with making a bakewell tart. I haven't made one in so long. I've already lined the pastry case and it's in the fridge at the moment, cooling, oven's on. And I will share the recipe as long as I'm happy with it afterwards, because I had to pull a new recipe because like I said, I haven't baked it in so long. So I'm going to talk to you about inconclusive grief. So this is the type of grief where we don't have evidence. So there isn't a person, an object. It can come from something like a plane crash, a collapsed building, or when someone kind of just disappears. They walked out the front door never to be seen again, or went for a hike and they are missing. So we will live in two worlds with that type of grief because there will always be hope that they survived, they will come back, we will see them again. But we've got that kind of inner feeling that they are gone and that they have died and perished within what occurred. This can cause a lot of turmoil inside of us, especially if it also happens in the public eyes. So I'm not going to name any of the instances that a lot of us probably know that were worldwide instances because I don't want to affect anyone, but those will happen, and it's made all that much harder because people start speculating, and then you can't grieve in private. You don't get left alone with either news fans or people just talking about it nowadays on the internet, and it's just super duper hard. We will be looking for forms of closure. Now, closure is a funky topic because I don't know that we ever really get closure, but when someone passes away and you're able to visit them, you do have that peace around, you know they are dead. Whereas with this, you don't have that form of closure. Continuing to live looks different hard, and you might, if you've watched any of my other types of grief videos, you'll hear me talk about different types of hard, because everything's hard in grief. It just is different for each of us and what that looks like. So if it's like a child, then parents may not touch that bedroom, so then if they come back, everything is as it was. People won't move house, so people know where to come back to, or just don't want to make those changes because it means they're moving away from that person and the possibility that they would know to come back to. Same thing happens with pets. Like if your dog escaped out of the fence, your cat's not come home like it normally does, your bird flew out the window, a lot of people will leave bowls out with food and water and leave a window cracked open or something so that then they can return to you. The stories of people being found or returning, and animals as well, days, weeks, months, and even longer afterwards, keeps the hope alive in us that they will return because other people have. And that adds to the turmoil that's inside of us because there is no closure. And we want closure. We also want to hold on to hope. Hope is love in this situation because you're loving them, hoping them that they will come back. So it's really, really hard. Like I said, it's different hard. And for some people, they will have inconclusive grief mixed in with other types of grief, which I've talked about in a couple of other videos that I've spoken of, and some ones that will be coming up. So try not to label yourself maybe as one specific one, because there will be pieces that will shade into other types of grief as well. I know I have several types of grief going on for me, but being able to label them, being able to label how I feel on a certain day or within a certain time in a day helps me understand kind of like, okay, that's what's going on, and I might have certain tools that I use to help me through that patch of time. So I'm going to get my pastry case out of the fridge, and then I'll let you know what I will talk about in the next video. And what I'm going to do is record a couple of videos along with me making the Bakewell tarts. So the pastry will go in the oven now, and then I will fill it with the jam and the frangipane and ice it. So I'll do that. Up next, what I'm going to talk about is traumatic grief. And again, another different type of hard. Like with anticipatory grief, you get all that advance notice, but you're exhausted when you arrive at the person passing. With traumatic grief, it's such a shock. So that's what I'm going to talk about in the next video, and like I said, along with the Bakewell tart. So keep watching the types of griefs videos so that then you can see where you reside, and be able to, like I said, have more conversations around it. And drop any questions you've got below. If it aligns up to another episode, then I will answer those questions in that episode. If not, I'll do a roundup one at the end. And I'm going to ask you to like and subscribe. There's a reason we do that, is because it helps us know kind of what we're providing is helping you, and it helps you be able to get the notifications of there's a new episode up, and you can continue on that journey. All right, well, I'm going to put my parchment paper in the pastry tin. So I've got that here. I had a little bit of cling film over it whilst it was in there, and then I've got my tub of I think it's a whole big old mince of different types of lentils. I don't use baking beans, I just use these. So I'm going to pop that in there. Take very good care of yourself, and I will see you in the next episode. Bye.